the industrialist Phylong reminisces about the Avengers' fight against Ex Nihilo when he terraformed Mars. He resents the heroes for having done nothing with it, so by the time he tried to claim the planet for humanity, the mutants had already done so. Meanwhile, Iron Man thinks about the different bad days he's had in his life as he rushes in flight toward the New York Stock Exchange, where he deduced his saboteur would be, based off his last taunt. Tony arrives unarmored at the NYSE to witness Phylong ringing the exchange's bell to celebrate his acquisition of Stark Unlimited. The industrialist pays no attention to Tony swearing that he will avenge Marielle Marcus and Joan Wei. Fuming but restrained, Stark verbally spars with Phylong afterward, and recalls the ultimate fate of many of his corporate enemies. A bystander suggests the rivals fight outside, and Phylong condescendingly refuses for Tony's sake, but Stark insists they do. Once outside, Tony calls his armor to suit him up as he and Phylong trade jabs. Thinking to himself, Tony admits that he doesn't know much about Phylong, but he manages to strike a nerve with a comment about Phylong not knowing where his father is, provoking the villain into attacking first by abruptly firing at Tony with an energy blast from his mouth that sends him flying away into a car. Phylong decides to make the most out of it, and draws the public's attention to the scuffle. Iron Man agrees to keep on fighting, still indignated by the blood in Phylong's hands. He fires a repulsor ray which Phylong absorbs, but only as a distraction to laser a fire hydrant next to the villain, sending him flying, and follows up with 2 micro-missiles. Phylong gets back up on his feet, and takes a battle stance as Tony rips a parking meter off the ground. Phylong conceitedly instructs Stark to fight for his company and his legacy, and even offers fabricating his own defeat to set up a technological Cold War to benefit humanity. Ignoring his discourse, Iron Man bats Phylong with the parking meter, sending him high and far into the air. Tony takes off, thinking to himself that he regrets taking his eye off his company. He catches Phylong before he hits a school bus, and throws him again. The villain lands on his back against the Bull of Wall Street. Iron Man then fires non-lethal rounds that Phylong struggles to deflect with his shields. Declaring that the fight was fun but that he has work to do, Tony casts a giant, block-sized energy bubble to reset every electronic device in its radius. As the bystanders react to their phones malfunctioning, Tony lands in front of Phylong and grabs him by the collar. Tony rebukes him and orders him to turn himself over. Phylong retaliates with a punch, delivering a final offer for Stark to join him, but Tony catches it and breaks his fist, telling Phylong that it's his last chance to surrender. Tony drops Phylong on the floor, taunts him about using Stark Unlimited's health plan, which Wei instated, and takes off. Stark thinks to himself that he only wanted to scare Phylong into confessing, but decided to leave before doing something he would regret, knowing they are going to do this the hard way. Phylong is left holding his injured hand, yet he rejoices that he finally has a worthy nemesis. At her law offices, Jen Walters receives cease and desists on Tony's behalf from the new management of Stark Unlimited pertaining to his Iron Man suit. She calls Tony to check up on him, and sees him out of her window, flying upward in the distance. Stark reaches the edge of space, where he shuts off his thrusters to meditate, listening to his heartbeat, something he does to unwind and shake off his craving for alcohol when he can't attend an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. He also does this to let the Earth rotate, so when he goes down he arrives at the mutant nation of Krakoa. In her white palace, Emma Frost is informed about an incoming bogey by Armor. Emma dismisses her, stating that she's expecting her guest, just as Tony appears in front of her, asking her if the enemy of one's enemy is their friend.